The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Surprise! None of the names that you heard in that intro are actually here. Not Danny, not none of them. All of them are gone. We are here. Our boy Newey, the captain, is in Houston right now. Game 7 tonight, Houston Astros versus the Texas Rangers. But this is the Players Lounge presented to you by Tostitos. I am joined by you today by Everson Walls, a.k.a. Cubby, Jess Nuvarez.
You got it right.
Let me know.
So proud of you.
I got it.
Oh,
I
so
am your
proud of
host, Jesse Holly. This segment is brought to you by Rally Day. Rally Day is presented by SeatGeek, gives NFL fans an experience of a lifetime. The day prior to the Dallas Cowboys home games on October 28th. Enjoy activities at the Miller Lighthouse. Get behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Stadium and more. Visit attstadium.com/Rally Days for more information to get your tickets today. And we'll do spooky house later on. All right, man. How's everyone doing?
Everybody's good.
You're good?
I have yesterday was so stress-free for me.
Wasn't it nice?
Well, except for the Rangers game.
Well, that's different. We're talking football-wise.
Football, I stayed home. I just watched TV. And I just sat up here and watched everybody else's team screw up, watch their quarterbacks do crap. You know what I mean? I just loved it. Like, okay, this is what it's like to watch the Cowboys. All right, let's see what's going on.
The Cowboys were on their bye week last week. They returned this week, getting ready to take on the L.A. Rams, who took a defeat yesterday by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quick side note.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
There isn't a coach that I believe in the National Football League, and this is my moment to give a little bit of praise to Mike Tomlin, that gets more from less than Mike Tomlin. Like, he really, really, really does. And so we're going to need Mike McCarthy to get more from more this weekend coming up against the L.A. Rams. I keep forgetting LA Rams, LA Chargers.
They're the same color. They're the same color, not in the same city. They're in the same stadium.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm like St. Louis.
And within the same
Rams.
2 weeks.
Yes.
I mean, doesn't
back
help.
to back. So Jess, what did you do? What did you do during your bye week? And how will it improve the Cowboys heading into this week?
I got you. Okay, so I went to the state fair for the very first time ever.
Wow.
Ever.
Yeah, are you from Texas?
No, I'm from New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've lived here for 2 years and I've never gone. So I was told I needed a corn dog, that it would be life-changing. And I hate to break it to you, it was not. It was not life-changing.
It was not.
It was not life-changing. The fried cheesecake?
Ooh,
I heard about that.
Life-changing.
that is my
What's
ultimate
the crust? What's the
favorite.
crust?
Okay, so it was dipped in chocolate and then rolled in Biscoff cookies.
Biscoff. That's what. Yeah.
Delicious.
My daughter
That was
she stood
life-changing.
in line for that yesterday.
I did too.
Yeah.
I stood in line for an hour.
The
and
line
it
was
so
long.
Worth it. Worth it.
Wow.
But how it will help the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't know how we can help the Cowboys.
You know, we're all mentally recharged.
I like it.
We're all mentally recharged, and not just me that, has to cover the Cowboys day in, day out, but the players as well. We just got off of a conference call with Marquise Bell and then Brandon Cooks, and he talked about a lot of the reset going into this week and, how the majority of the games going on out is on home turf and how important it is to protect the home turf. He talked about that. And then he also talked about, which I thought was interesting, I guess it's a generational thing, but he talked about the scrutiny that the Cowboys get even in the bye week. He talked about how different it is and his advice to the guys when he's out there and not being on social media, which is huge. I mean, you're talking about, sorry guys, my generation, we're all social media, right? Y'all are young. I don't know what you're
We
laughing
have
at.
no choice but to be on there with you guys. We have no choice.
But
Yeah.
he
Adapt to
talked
die.
about how important it is. And so something he also mentioned was, I asked him, what's one thing you've learned about Dak Prescott in the course of the last 7 weeks, now that you're kind of in the thick of the season, getting into that mode? And he said his resilience and his ability to bounce back really quickly. So looking forward to the second half of the season officially, and now we're all mentally rested. I think that goes in the locker room as well.
Everson Walls, what did you do during your bye week, and how will that help the Cowboys for the rest of this season?
I also went to the State Fair.
Yay!
I didn't want to wait to the last day. There was no way I was going to go yesterday. I went on Thursday.
Did you also have a corn dog?
Oh, of course. I had everything. I didn't stand in line for the cheesecake.
Oh,
They
man.
can have that. I'm sorry. I'm not a cheesecake guy anyway. I'm not that curious. And otherwise, just went there and had a good time. And I must say that all of that culminated in doing not zip for the Dallas Cowboys. It didn't help them at all.
Yeah.
It helped my outlook on the season thus far. I saw teams yesterday that have the same problems that we have. I see teams being overly praised the same way we overly praise the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, I saw the similarities of what everyone else has been seeing, for the first 5 weeks. And one thing I can say is where I was all the time. Cowboys are still one of the best teams in the NFL.
And I was quickly saying, I did absolutely nothing.
I was going to say, what'd you do this
I
week?
did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I did absolutely nothing.
Felt good, didn't it?
So relaxing.
To do nothing, to literally wake up and go, because I'm so regimented, everything, I'm all
You
my-
were going to come to work on Thursday and Friday if it wasn't for us.
You know what?
if you
You are
didn't
so
tell me-
right. You are so right.
Because and Cubby understands this. Once we get a schedule and we get our,
It's fair.
it becomes
Have
Automatic.
it becomes automatic.
Yeah.
And so to wake up and go, okay, what's on the agenda today? All right, workout, and then boom, 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 and I'm just like, wait, workout,
And then
and there's nothing else.
Silence.
And so sometimes you get caught in that place, and you're just like, it's a little bit, the anxiety bell goes off a little bit because you're like, I got nothing
there's
to
something.
do.
Right.
I should be doing
There's something.
something.
Yeah.
I'm missing something. Let me check
Or you
my
just
calendar.
don't even know what day it is anymore,
And
what time
you
it
just
is.
start I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just watch the dog, and I guess you just start trying to push stuff.
You gave your dog a bath?
I did.
That's
the
how-
big dog
whoa.
a bath too. I
Oh.
gave the big
You
dog.
That's
have
how
to
you
put out some
know.
time. You have to put some time aside for that.
Like Mamba, I have a 130 plus pound Connie Corso. So,
Oh, how
yeah.
cute.
so for him,
No, cute is not the word. She
I mean,
said cute.
it's cute, but I'm not the one that had to give it a bath.
So for him, it's just not like, hey, splash the water, you just rinse it off right quick.
in the
that's a
sink.
process.
In the
Right,
sink.
like Mamba it's a process, right? It's like 3 or 4 coats of washing.
Right.
How will that help the Cowboys this week?
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Get to that. You asked the question. You started the question. So tell me how that connected to the Cowboys.
I hope they washed away
Oh.
Very good.
No.
He good segue.
You
Good
know, he
segue.
was
He
waiting
came
for
up with
that.
that,
You were
man. He
waiting
had
for
that shit
that.
back
Guys,
pocket.
at the end of the
No,
day,
you were
I'm
waiting for
Yeah,
it.
at the end of the day,
still
you
a
were ready
professional.
for it.
How I got the Cowboys, I hope that during this time they washed away all the bad things that we talked about prior to this. I hope Mike McCarthy washed away the lack of creativity in his offense. I hope that Dak washed away the hesitancy and him delivering the football. I hope CeeDee Lamb washed away the negative
beef,
attitude
yeah.
and his whatever's going on with the quarterback and the offense. I hope that the defense have washed away their inability to stop the run. So I'm hoping that all the things that were negative for the Cowboys, that they got that. So I watched the dog. I put Dove on, not the Dove. I put the Dawn. soap
Dawn,
on
yes,
first.
yes.
So I do
That's
that
for fleas.
first. Right, I do
That's for
that.
fleas.
I do that first, and then I go back with this lavender shampoo. Yeah.
That's for the smell.
It's for the smell.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I hope that the Cowboys put,
Then
this-
conditioner. You put some conditioner.
yeah. And then
My
afterwards,
dog doesn't have hair. I don't have to worry about all that.
and then I just kind of just dried him and made sure he was good and cleaned his ear. So I'm praying the Cowboys did the exact same thing.
You hope they clean
for
their
this.
They clean their ears.
Yeah, clean your ears. Clean your ears.
Please clean your ears.
Clean your ears because
That's a good thing.
I want
That's
the
a good
message
thing.
from Mike McCarthy and their Dan Quinn. I want it to be clear when it hits their ears about what the assignments are for this week.
fair.
Because coming up against the LA Rams, there's going to have to be. I think that that Sean McVay is one of the top tier coaches in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So the message has to be very clear for the Dallas Cowboys that you're going to have to be assignment and alignment sound, especially defensively, by what they're able to do. They got Cooper Kupp back. Mm-hmm. They started this year out with Puka Nacua. So you got a Koopa and a Puka.
And then he is balling.
And they are balling.
Yeah.
They are absolute balling. And one of the things that the Cowboys have kind of been struggling with defensively is being able to stop the over-the-middle passes. And you can bet your bottom dollar that you're going to see a ton of that from McVay and company offensively.
Until you learn to stop it, you will continue to see it.
And for Jess, one of the things that I've seen, and tell me what you've seen, is we talk about the lack of down the field productivity, right? We've been asking for that. You got a chance to hear from Brandon Cooks today, and he's been one of the guys that we've talked about. Hey, we need to see more of that. Coming into this week, do you feel like Mike McCarthy and company has kind of figured out or going to figure out a way to stretch the field a little bit more and get guys like that involved?
They should. I mean, they need to.
Yeah.
It's not even an option at this point, because here's the thing. When you're not getting downfield, you don't even have an opportunity to work on the red zone woes that we were talking about 3 weeks ago. We don't even know what that looks like. And so I think, yes, you have a Brandon Cooks that is warmed up now. He has his feet going. He has everything he needs. But more than anything, what I'm waiting to see is the tight end production, too, and getting them involved in the passing game. I think that's something that has lacked a lot, so far in the last 6 weeks from the Cowboys. So not only could you see more of the Brandon Cooks aspect, but seeing the receiving threat that you have from a Jake Ferguson with the yak ability that he's able to give you when you need it, especially when you're trying to get down the field. Those yardage, that extra yardage just stacks up if you can keep getting that yak ability going and going. So, yeah, I think Brandon Cooks is absolutely a big factor in that. But I also think Michael Gallup having this week to potentially figure out what has been holding him back, because he had the most receptions, on Monday night.
Most targets.
That's also most targets.
Yep.
Most targets. I think that'll help a lot too. So figuring that out, getting Brandon Cooks involved, getting those tight ends involved, and then I want to see those special packages that we keep hearing about too, with Deuce Vaughn, Hunter Lipke, even the running backs getting all of that involved in the receiving game. I think that's important as well. So I think it's a mixture of everything. Ball distribution.
Cubby, we all talk about sometimes overcorrection. Last year, Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions. Majority of them came with the ball going down the middle of the football field, right? And there was this mix-up.
A lot of traffic off in there.
Traffic is in there, middle of the field open, middle of the field closed. There was some missed opportunities between receiver and quarterback. Has there been an overcorrection by Mike McCarthy and his offense? Because you got 15 interceptions last year, and most of us will say that's not who Dak is. Mike comes in, is fully in charge of the offense now, and you don't see that attacking down the middle of the field anymore. So is there an overcorrection you see there with how he wants to call the offense and what the offense kind of needs to get a little bit more of that middle of the field action?
You can call it overcorrection. I can say that it is uber conservative. I can't say that much. We're not trying really to take any chances down the field at all. When we did try, it was in a desperate situation, which I think is an extreme mistake. If you're going to be working on going down the field, then you need to work on it in practice first before you try these Hail Marys that they tried that was against the 49ers. I do think that they are very conservative at this point. I don't mind that as long as we are winning with that. But it's what I told you guys on Wednesday. I want this team to be able to win in all ways. If we have to go with Michael Gallup, then I want to win with Michael Gallup. If he's going to be our target. If CD's fussing all the time, then I want to say, okay, we can still win and get CD the ball. I want to be able to get Ferguson the ball if we can get him the ball. But it's only one ball, okay? It's only one ball. Who do you want to have it? So let's figure out what's the best fit for us each week. I keep trying to tell you guys, you're going to have to win in so many different ways. You can't just win one way. You saw Lamar Jackson yesterday. Everybody's going off on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they don't need Lamar Jackson to throw for 357 to win every week. Sometimes they just win by playing good defense and having a good running game. I want us to be able to adapt to whatever we need to do to win. I don't like us saying, well, we didn't win because we didn't get it to CeeDee Lamb. Well, if CeeDee ain't open, then we better get it to somebody who's open.
Right.
And another thing that I saw, and it came to me, maybe you mentioned it already. The Cowboys were successful against the Chargers because the Chargers chose not to jam. They chose not to press most of the game. Why they chose that, I don't know. Because when you saw San Fran, they were all up in our faces the entire game.
Yep.
And we could not create separation. When the Chargers did choose to press, we did have trouble separating from the DBs. That's something that we got to work on. Our physicality at the line from our wide receivers and tight ends. Create separation, and we won't have to have these harrowing passes from Dak Prescott in key moments.
All right, when we're going to take our first break of the show, when we come back, I want to get the perspective from a former defensive player on how the Cowboys can sustain the identity of this team being a defensive first type team. Stay right here with us. This is the Players Lounge. Jess, Cubby, Jesse, we'll be right back with you.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of you and everyone else absolutely loving new smoothie bowls from Smoothie King. And woo, me too. These smoothie bowls start with acai and pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. New smoothie bowls, only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss.
To the Players Lounge.
Welcome back to the Players Lounge.
I can't believe it. We have one here. I didn't know we had a Swifter.
We have a Swiftie in the building. No,
Everton, how do you not know that? Everyone knows that.
Here, but we have. Oh,
sorry. No.
We have.
Nope.
I do not play around when it comes to Taylor Swift.
We just realized in the break that we have Jess is a Swiftie and is all for. So she's excited. You're part of the NFL contingency that's like, give me more Swiftie.
Yeah, I want a Taylor Swift only cam when she's in the box.
I know it's a done deal when we look at
friendship bracelet.
Kelsey's stats with Taylor versus without Taylor.
Yeah, he was left in his own devices.
Left to his own devices.
Hilarious.
Come on, man.
Hilarious.
They're killing me, man.
My favorite graphic of all time.
This segment is brought to you by the Halloween Spectacular. It is spooky season at the Star. Join us on Saturday, October 28th for Halloween Spooktacular brought to you by Mars Candy. Trick or treat from 30-plus restaurants and shops in the Star District. Plus, enjoy performances from a magician, spooky tunes from a live DJ, crafts for the kiddos, and more. On the Tostitos Championship Plaza, this event is free. We always love free. Free and open to the public. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information. Before we went to the break, I said that I was going to come to Everson and talk about the identity of this team, right? It being the defense. And what do they have to do as a whole from a defensive coordinator's perspective and defensive players to be able to sustain this team having the defense be their identity?
First of all, they have to make sure they understand the talent around them. You have to know who's good at what, when, and where, basically. We know that our defensive line is pretty solid, but we also know that our defensive line has given up a few running plays that in key situations that really didn't work for us. So if we're going to be that defensive team, then the consistency has to be there, play in, play out, quarter in, quarter out, game in, game out. And I always bring up some teams that are known for great defense. Philadelphia is known for playing good defense.
Yeah.
The Ravens are known for playing good defense. They are solid in their scheme week in and week out. The Cowboys seem to be a team that, there are some plays where it was one of those, man, I'm glad I didn't make that one. You know what I mean? We don't need those. We have a lot of youth on our defense.
Yeah.
And you see some mistakes being made. You see Bland, who's going to have a tough time now. He's going to have a tough time all year long. As good as he is, they're going to attack him. We need to understand that our DBs are not the best DBs in the NFL right now. And we need to give them the type of pressure they need to be strong. So when you look at it, it all starts up front. And I don't care where you put Michael Parsons, wherever you put him, you've got to have 4 or 5 other guys on that front that's going to make plays in a consistent manner without Michael Parsons being there. We have to be a team that's able to. I don't need Michael Parsons to hold my hand as another linebacker. I don't need a Parsons to hold my hand as another defensive lineman. I should be able to do this on my own. Be D-Law. Be like DeMarcus Lawrence. Be that guy that can make plays on his own and just add to it. I don't need to depend on Michael Parsons to make all the plays for me.
Jess, for the defensive side of the ball, we talk about Michael Parsons, right? I get it. He is, as from a player's perspective, he is the alpha dog on that defense. He's the one guy. When offenses, we used to have a thing. When offenses break the huddle, you try to find that guy, right? You go break.
Where's he?
Where's he? Right?
He's your
there he
bullseye.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. He's the guy. When you get your scouting report during the week, we call it a star. We call it a star. Right?
Yeah.
Who's the guy that we're going to star this week on defense? But teams, in a way, when you look at the Chargers game, Micah didn't really make any noise in that game until that last sack.
Yes.
So teams are figuring out ways now, kind of like we can find ways to not allow him to
minimize
and neutralize their best player. Who is a guy or guys or position group that you feel like in the second half of this season, because now the film is out.
Right.
After about 6-7 games, you are who you are. There's minimal adjustments that you make within that. But the base of that is who you are. What is a guy or guys or group that you feel like needs to take a huge leap for this team to continue that identity of defense being their identity of this football team?
Yeah, sure. And I think my answer would be different if Leighton Vander Esch was still in the picture, but the linebacker group now is still very shaky because your main communicator, your green dot guy, he's not in right now.
Yeah.
He can't diagnose, and his art for diagnosing anything on the offense so quick, and it comes so natural to him, it looks like. And so, you have to make that adjustment. And Jaron Kearse, he took over the green dot and the communication aspect of it. But overall, you're still missing a key player. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that when did the whole conversation of the run defense become an issue last season? It was when LVE was out with the neck stinger. And so I don't really think have seen this team without him yet. You haven't felt him not be around yet. You haven't felt his lack of presence. And so for me, it's the linebacker group. So Damone Clark, I think although he's been great and he's been productive.
He really has.
It's time to really step it up now and step into his own and kind of take what LVE has shown him and produce without LVE next to him. And so I think that's two different things that you're talking about when you're talking about playing with the guy next to you and then he's not there anymore.
Yep.
You all have to adjust. And so for me, it's the linebacker group, not because they're not strong or they're a weak point or anything like that. It's just when you're missing your core guy in Leighton, it's hard.
It's their youth.
Yeah.
It is their youth.
Yeah.
And when we did have problems, it was because of the mistakes by the linebackers. Damone Clark is balling, but he has made some mistakes.
Yeah.
Marquise Bell, this past game, clearly his best game. I don't know how many tackles he made.
All of them.
But he was
literally all
over the place. So we're coming from a good place right now. So your question, if you would have asked me before the Chargers game, it would have been more poignant. At this point, I think that hopefully they have made progress. That game that they played against the Chargers, that could be a springboard to them really being the group that they need to be without Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. How well can we play? Not just how well can we play, how consistently can we play these next games with these young guys in there, because they seem to catch on in this Chargers game. It was good to watch Marquise Bell all over the field.
It's funny because he was also on the conference call today, and they asked him, what is it like for you having this 300-pound guy coming after you? Like, what is your mindset? He said, attack him. Period. Attack him. And then he talked about holding the standard without Leighton, and they said, somebody asked him, how do you feel like you guys are going to do without that and continue to do without that? And he said he'll be really happy when he comes back. He said the standard will be held, and he'll be happy to know there's no drop-off when he comes back. He also talked about, kind of this versatility that he has from going safety to linebacker, and they asked him, what do you define yourself as, and what's your title? What's your position? He said, I'm hybrid. That's just what it is. I'm a hybrid. And then he said in college,
we have a few of those.
And it's important, right? He talked about in college he would play in the box a little bit, but that's where he's comfortable right now. So Marquise Bell, ring the bell, everybody. If you get more Marquise Bell like you did against the Chargers, we won't be talking about
I don't know his numbers. Do anyone have his numbers? Because they were really good.
You can look those numbers up. And you when you say what position you play, I like to say employed. Right, for a guy like Marquise Bell, because when you think about a guy like Marquise Bell, when you come into a situation like this, you're just trying to find your footing. Where can I find myself a position on this field to get some playing time? You have to create value for yourself, and what Marquise Bell has been able to do, when a coach comes to you and they go, listen, I need you to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Can you do that? And then you do it with the level of excellence.
Yes.
You earn yourself the ability to keep a job.
It's trust.
It is trust.
Now, trust is what it's all about. It's a team game. It's trust.
It's frustrating. From a coaching standpoint, I always say that I never wanted to be the type of player that when a coach laid his head down the night before a game, he was worried about me. Mm-hmm. If you're that guy that he's worried about night before the game, you probably won't be employed very long, right? Coaches want to be able to go, okay, I know that I'm good wherever Everson Walls is playing.
We don't have to worry about that.
We don't have to worry about that anymore. I can take my attention somewhere else that needs my attention. But you both hit on points that I think are immensely important when it comes to an identity. It's the inconsistencies, as the young people say, for me. Is if your
Sorry, my mom says that all the time. So it's not just young people.
But it's the inconsistencies for me. And when you go up against an opponent, and I know they're coming off a loss last week, but the one thing that I do know that McVay does well on the offensive side of things is scheme.
Ooh, he can scheme.
And he's going to find those things and those ways where if it's Marquise Bell, if it's Jaron Kearse, if it's Donovan Wilson, and
those three are the number three that he's going to look at to try and attack.
Right.
Trust me.
And so when you have that level of inconsistency, that's where I always am a little bit scared about, can we hang our hat on something or a side of the ball that has these level of inconsistencies? Because Matthew Stafford, he's still a good quarterback.
Yes, he is.
And when you talk about the receiving core, they're in a system where the open guy is going to get the ball, right? But they're also in a system where, and I learned this when I was at New England with Tom Brady, is they can run the same play 10 different ways. And they'll go, what matchups do I want to create?
Of course.
Do I want to create a matchup of Puka Nacua on a linebacker? Mm-hmm. Do I want to create a matchup of Cooper Kupp on a safety? Mm-hmm. Where do I want this matchup to happen? Do I want it to happen in the middle of the field?
And they will create it any way they can.
Right? And the good teams are able to match that man for man, right? The consistency level is there. It's the ones where that kills you is when they find, because when they find the matchup, best believe your bottom dollar, they're going to attack it.
And when that comes, it has nothing to do with the system. Now it's you.
Now it's you.
And see, I want those players that can accept that challenge. It seems as if Marquise Bell and Jaron did that in this last game. Once again, we're coming off a good game. If you talked to me before the Chargers game, it's a totally different story. What I saw was major improvement from a team with a lot of threats they were going against. The Chargers had a lot of threats, and they held them down pretty well. And they deserve credit, just like the team that just held them down also. Okay, in this past week. So you got to look at the Chiefs as far as what the Chiefs did. So I look at this team now coming off of a good win, and it's not just that we just won. It's the way that these young men that we're talking about played. And that, to me, gives me a lot of hope on who we play against in the future, because they will be a target for the rest of the season. I was there in 1981. I don't care how many interceptions you get. You got to show me every week. And I had to show them every week. These guys are going to have to do the same thing all year long.
Jess, you have those stats pulled up on Marquise Bell.
I do. I was going to pull out a Taylor Swift lyric there.
Oh, no, don't, please don't.
Since it was rare. Everson was there.
Oh, my goodness.
Look, people are expecting it at this point. 27 total combined tackles so far this season. That ranks him 4th on the Cowboys, just behind Jaron Kearse, Leighton, and then Damone Clark is your total tackle leader right now. 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection from Marquise Bell, 1 forced fumble so far. And I say so far because we've yet to see the rest of the season. But overall, I mean, what I like that you guys have brought up and mentioned is McVay's ability to adjust and evolve. And I think that's so important in coaching. When you're talking about any coach within this league, is their success can be defined by the evolution of their play calling or of their coaching style. And he's not just set in one way. He adjusts to the opponent.
That's
and I
why
think
he got
that's
Coach of the Year.
So key in any matchup you go against McVay. So look, are they the most successful? Are they the scariest team coming out of the bye week? No. But are they a threat that you should not overlook?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to go to break, and I think, Jess, you hit right where I want to go. Not this week, but the Cowboys have another big-time opponent next week in the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a dominating win last night against the Miami Dolphins. Are they overlooking the Rams and having another one of those circle the calendar dates for the Philadelphia Eagles? We'll talk more about that coming up on the other side of this break. This is the Players Lounge.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Welcome back to the Players Lounge. This is our official last day together.
I know.
Sorry, I know. You have a Swiftie lyric for that? Did you have a song that says it's so hard to say goodbye? Do you have Swiftie lyrics for that?
I said, remember this moment in the back of my mind. I had the time of my life playing dragons with you.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. That sounds sincere.
That's the ultimate compliment I can give you as a
We're
appreciate that, man. Wow.
Jess Navarez, Jesse Holly. We have been the media mash, the fill-in mix-up of this week for the Players Lounge. We will return back to our normal shows. Where will you be tomorrow?
Girls Talk, Boys Talk,
What
4
time?
o'clock.
Mixed shots, noon.
Boo. No, I'm playing. And I will be back with Hanging with the Boys at 1. Sorry, Derek. I know Derek's like, Jesse, stop doing
Shut
that.
up with that.
Shut up. I'll be back with Hanging with the Boys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time. I must say it was great working with you. You and I had never worked together before. No. Everson and I had worked together before many times, and we always have a good one. Yeah. But it was great.
But Jess, you're cool.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. You guys are cool too.
Yeah, you put us up on Taylor Swift.
That's all you
I won't
got
hold
away
that against
from
her.
me.
I won't hold that against her.
Look, you were singing "Shake It Off." Don't play it cool on
I didn't sing it. I recalled
Y'all were
it.
both singing it.
I recall.
I have a witness in the
could
back.
you imagine somebody
Y'all were
shake it off, shake it off.
See?
Somebody's going to be, hey, these guys are Swifters.
Yeah.
They are. They knew Shake It Off.
No, we're not Swift.
No, it was cool because I remember I shared with you, last year? Before the Eagles game, which we're going to talk about, there was one time, so my dad has season tickets, and I would go to all the Cowboys games, and Jesse Holly was like a big staple in the family. Be like, yeah, we love Jesse Holly. We would always root for this guy. And so you were outside, and you were doing a pregame something. I don't remember what it was, and I was like, Jesse Holly, can I take a picture? And so we took a picture in 2016. So then we were watching the Eagles game last year at Texas Live.
Yes.
And then I showed Jesse that picture, and I was like, look.
Wow.
Look how full circle.
Wow.
And then we're both there taking notes. Just
I didn't have any gray hairs. I was no gray hairs in my beard. I was slimmer.
See if I can find it.
Good times in 2016. What's up, Pops? How are you? Thank you so much for always being a Jay Holly fan. I appreciate you more.
And Everson too. My dad was like, okay, I stopped everything to make sure I could listen to what you were telling Everson. I was like, okay, Dad, it's not that serious. You're fine.
Tell Pops what's up.
He's probably listening.
All right, Pops.
What's up, brother?
Yes, sir.
We love you. We love you over here. From the non-Swiftie fans.
Yes. I'm sure he joins us as a non-Swiftie fan.
He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. It's my dad. He has to hear about it.
So as the Cowboys prepare themselves to take on the LA Rams this Sunday, 12 noon at AT&T Stadium, looming in the near future.
They're on the screen.
In the Kelly Green jersey. I gotta say,
I don't like it.
I know I'm not supposed to say this out loud and on this station. The coaches' hoodies that they had on in Philadelphia, I kind of like them.
I thought you were talking about the jersey.
No, I was talking about the hoodies that they had on. Yeah, I kind of like. Maybe it's the old school.
Yeah, I like the jerseys. I played against them in those jerseys. We used to kick their ass in those jerseys.
I wish the Cowboys do more. The Cowboys need to go back to the Apex, the little Giants jersey. They need to go back to them just one time, Jerry. Just one time.
I'd love to see the Cowboys come out in all black.
Ooh.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. You already got all white. Why not? Oh, of course he's not. Of course he's not. We can't be looked at like that. We just can't.
Yeah,
man. You saw Indy in the Indy blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait till Shy takes over. We may not be around to see it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we will.
But when the grandson
when I'm gone, then that's when they're hey, let's put Everson in the Ring of Honor in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, oh, okay. My son will be old.
Yeah. Yeah, we finally did it.
We did it.
We finally did it.
I'll be like, I remember the time we were on the Players Lounge.
Yeah,
and
they were
Everson
just
said
joking about this.
I'll pull up the tape.
Yeah. You'll be old.
I'll be old.
Taylor Swift will not be.
No.
Taylor Swift will have her millionth album at that
She'll
point.
be on her 5th marriage.
Yeah.
No. She's with Travis Kelce. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that won't last very long.
Jesse?
She knows that. Knows that.
You honestly don't think that's gonna last?
I do. She was with her ex-boyfriend for 6 years.
Oh, breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles, who we talk about next week, they have made a trade.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that?
They have upgraded their defensive back position. I got to say, they're doing, you talk about management, they're doing a hell of a job over there in Philadelphia. They just traded with the Tennessee Titans to get all-pro safety Kevin Byard to Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's a good player.
It's a damn good player.
Man.
They worked that out real fast.
That's a damn good player.
Is that because of Tyreek Hill?
I don't know.
I mean, because he was running by a couple of people yesterday.
It could be because we play CeeDee Lamb next week. It could be because they see
a big reason.
It could be a big reason. They're afraid of what 88 is bringing to the table next week.
Let's do it like that.
Let's do it like that.
Let's do it like
but
that.
The Cowboys, they do have an opponent in front of them this Sunday in the Chargers. But we saw them.
The Rams.
We saw the Cowboys this year get to the point of, they talked about it all offseason, how big of a challenge it was to take on the 49ers. Yeah. And that turned out to be a bit of a dud. Do you think in the back of some of the players' minds that they're thinking to themselves, boy, I know we have the Rams this week, but the second game that will circle on their calendar, because I think the Philadelphia Eagles is another litmus test of what this team really is. Could they be kind of just peeking ahead a little bit? I know they all watched it last night. They had nothing else to do, so they watched it last night.
Maybe they gave their dogs a bath too.
They might have given their dog a bath. They're richer than I am. They called the waggy, the portable wag,
the portable
truck that comes right to the house. Yeah, they just had them show up. Right, yeah. My dog's getting to the point now where they won't even take him at the
He's too big.
Yeah, the pet smart. They're like,
could you imagine a little lady like Jess come to get the dog? Okay, we'll see you next week.
That's exactly what happened.
Have to write it off like a horse.
That's exactly what happened. These small, God bless those women's heart. God bless them.
My dog's 100 pounds and he does the same thing.
Like,
I know 130.
He's looking like they have the little swinging counter. Like, he's already looking over there like, yeah, this is the last time we take him here. Putting him up on the scale, right? It's a task.
Yeah,
it's a task. But could the Cowboys be kind of looking ahead a little bit to that Philadelphia game, Jess?
Yeah, I mean.
And is that a good thing?
But
It's okay.
But I don't think that's something new to this season. I think that's something you do every season when you're going to play the Eagles. I don't think it's anything different. I think it's a little more overhyped because the Eagles are successful and they are playing at a high level and they continue to do so. But I don't think it's anything new that you look forward to playing a divisional rival, especially the Eagles.
Yes.
And especially when they're playing well. And especially because you haven't seen a full-force Cowboys-Eagles game in how many games now? 3? I mean, keep in mind, you've had injuries keeping guys out. You haven't seen a Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott game. So when it's that much hype that's going into it, why wouldn't you? I mean, I know they're excited about it, but I also think, or I would hope, that they learn their lesson not to overlook this week's opponent and have another San Francisco 2.0 game.
But you talked about the youth, right? You said that there's some young guys on this football team, and it's one thing to have a veteran squad who understands all that comes along with the day in, day out, week in, week out, long season of being locked in and focused. Could those younger guys have that mentality where they're saying, you know what, I know that we got the Rams right here, but I'm checking out Philly.
Let's think about when you were young. And you played in the league, okay? I'll think about when I played in the league. I didn't look forward to any particular game. I look forward to every game.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I was concerned, as a young player, man, there was a challenge every game. I was not looking past anyone. I was looking forward to making plays each week. That's what I was looking forward to. I would imagine someone like a Marquise, someone like J-Ron, with how successfully they played in that last game. If I'm them, I'm looking forward to repeating that this week alone. This week alone, I'm looking forward to this particular game because I see the challenges in this game. And I'm not just trying to sound like some old dude who's, I'm just going to be playing by the book. No, I'm really looking forward. I'm going against Matthew Stafford.
Right.
I'm going against Cooper Kupp. Yeah. Come on, man. I hear about this dude. Who's this guy with the name? Puka. I'm hearing about these guys. The young guys should never look over anything but what's coming into their face the following week. I know I'm not unique in that.
Right.
You know, I just don't. I couldn't even see that far. All I could see was the next week. I got work to do, and I better make sure. I'm from Dallas. I got my family in the stands. They got my jersey on.
Right.
I'm looking forward to not embarrassing them. You know, I never looked forward to another game. And so if anyone's worried about looking forward to a game, it should be the coaches themselves. How are you going to handle this week versus next week? Because coaches are always so coy about, I don't want to show them too much. You know, well, if we show them this, then, you know, they're going to be ready for that. And they're not too crazy about the head coach of Philadelphia. You know, he's a little smart ass. So they don't want to show him too much to make him look smart. There's always these chess games to be played week in and week out. So if you say they look forward so much to San Francisco, well, you can look forward to it, but then once you get there, and as Mike Tyson said, once you get punched in the mouth, and we got punched in the mouth, how are you going to react? Not next week. No, the game still has to be played.
Right.
And they never responded from getting punched in the mouth. So you just worry about this week. Just worry about your play this week. We should be over all of that, looking forward to it as far as players are concerned. Coaches, you worry about that. Players, we're looking forward to this week.
Any more to add?
That was not. How could I add to that?
Mic drop, right?
That really was. That was perfect.
Well,
what about you? Anything to add there?
I'm the host.
Oh, no. Don't he gonna back out. Don't be he's backing out. I'm the host.
I think everything that you said was spot on. And then I remember it's the Dallas Cowboys. And then I remember that there are a certain level of guys who, as sound as what you just said, don't think that way. As mature of a thing that you just said, aren't mature enough to understand that. As a focused thing that you just said, some of these players on this team lack that. And so when you look at, are they looking ahead? Are they focused on the task right in front of them? Some, yes. But when you look at from man 1 to man 68 on the roster, I think there's a mix-up in that. I think there's a core of guys that are like, nah, man, we got to focus on the task at hand with the Rams and McVay and that whole situation. And I think there's a core that's like, man, I can't wait to play Philly. I can't wait to go up to Philadelphia, right? Because even some of the young guys who've never been to Philadelphia, that alone that's an experience. If you've never played a game in Philadelphia,
you tell them.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it is.
The entire thing is an experience from the time you get to the hotel to the time the game happens to the time you're leaving the game. It is an absolute experience.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes it's a shell shock to some of the younger players. So what you said so eloquently put, so mature put, I think there's still maybe it's not 50-50, maybe it's 60-40, maybe it's 70-30, but in that 30, there may be some players that you really need to be locked in, right? Because that 30 may not be a guy who just plays special teams. That 30 may be your starting safety. That 30% may be your starting receiver or whatever it may be that can sometimes have their focus all over the place. And I'm with you. I'm with you 100% is, worry about the game that you have to deal with right now. Next week will take care of itself. And tomorrow will bring its problems of its own. So don't focus on those now. Yeah. But I remember that everyone's not as mature as Everson Walls.
That's fair.
Everyone's not as mature as a Jesse Holley. This day and age, these kids, they have trouble. You know why TikTok is so addictive? They cannot hold their attention span longer than 30 seconds. It's flip, 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 flip. So their mind
can't be
is
the players
constantly
thinking like this, is it?
I know. What
It can't be the
I'm
players
like, I love
thinking
TikTok.
like that,
What are
right?
you saying?
Are the players the ones that are still off into that? Because to me, whether you're into
How old is your daughter?
39.
Okay, then she's out that out of that stage.
Yeah.
But these younger guys, they are doing this all day. They're like scrolling. So I know that their attention span's all over the place because they're not solely
They
focused
can't be
on
ball players like that.
Well, I also think, too, how much the bye week will help that, right? Because at that point, you've had a week off. You kind of, distance makes the heart grow fonder. You missed playing football. So instead of focusing and jumping ahead, they're just ready to get back out there this week against the Rams because you didn't have it this week. And you still have a sour taste in your mouth from the 49ers. It's not washed away.
I say this. Before we start talking about are we ready, you start thinking about somebody like Philly. Philly's getting ready for us right now. They are getting ready for us right now. So you have to worry, is Philly overlooking us? How is Philly approaching this particular game coming up? Are they going to feel like they got everything in the bag because they're playing at home? You know, because they only lost one game. They're NFC East leaders. Are they going to be the ones that'll be overconfident? Let's look at what they're thinking right now.
You have a contingency of fans that are watching this show that's like, that shit, Cubby, you tell Jesse and his hating ASS. Like, that's what they're saying right now. They're telling you got people, and I know there's a bunch of people watching this show right now like, you tell him ever since Jesse's always no.
Break it up, guys. Break it up. Whoa.
But you're absolutely right. But man, that is our time here on the Players Lounge. Jess, thank you so much.
Man.
It was great.
Fun.
Cubby,
Nui,
my boy.
Miss you, Nui.
Thank you. Nui is in Houston. Hopefully the Rangers bring it home tonight, win the ALCS.
Yes, bring it home, Nui.
To the
It's all up to Nui.
It's all up to you, Nui.
It's up to you, Nui. It's up to you, Nui. You got to bring it home, baby. Rangers take on the Houston Astros tonight. Hopefully they can win it. Game 7. Is there, before we go, Game 7, who has the best, like, overall? Is it basketball Game 7, hockey Game 7, you got your Stars shirt on, or is it baseball Game 7?
Hockey. I'm partial. You can't ask me. I'm biased in that. Hockey.
I'm basketball. I'm basketball all the way. We
got hockey. We got basketball. Jazz and basketball.
Even it out. Let's go.
Baseball is thrilling, man. Like every single pitch matters.
And I like how they sped it up just a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Just enough.
Like every single pitch.
It's still intense.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think baseball has the greatest Game 7 because, you just never know.
It's the thing. First you're still, and then it's action.
Yeah.
Then you still. Then it's action. It's like so surreal, serene at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's action.
Hits you.
It's in between each pitch.
Basketball, baseball, hockey. All right.
Go Stars.
That's our time for the Players Lounge. We'll all be back to our regular scheduled programming tomorrow. Girls talk, boys talk.
Mixed shots.
Mixed shots.
Yeah, I said it. You don't have to. Go ahead.
Hanging with the boys.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you guys, man. We're out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!